Welcome back, Crypto Crew. We got a lot to cover today. It is Sunday, July 20th, 2025. You're not going to want to miss this video. We got some breaking news that we want to cover. I got my take on some things. You're really going to want to stick around as this marketplace is heating up and preparing for a grind and a breakout in altcoins. We got Bitcoin stalling near 118,000. We got Ethereum that just popped 4%, took Justin out of his trade. Target hit. Got to get in the live streams. Got to get in the live streams. Altcoins are going vertical. We got Solana, ADA, double-digit breakouts, while Bitcoin dominance is slipping as predicted. Is this the next altcoin explosion getting ready to get underway? Also in the news that I want you to understand, get yourself a beverage of your choice. We got Jerome Powell in the crosshairs. So we're going to be covering all that for you. So sit back. It's going to be a great show for you. And remember, always come on over here and make sure that you give us a like. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin and crypto all day, every day. All right, let's break this all down, okay? I want to come on over to, actually, no, I want my money supply chart. I want my money supply chart up here, okay? I got to stay focused. Because I'm I'm thinking that this, we got to understand what's happening in the backgrounds, and we have to really digest what could occur in the future. So this is one I want to talk about. We all know what money supply does. We know that money supply is the fuel of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin itself, right? Now, Federal Reserve Chair Powell is under fire after a 2.5 billion Fed headquarter renovation in DC that went $700 million over budget. I'm going to show you that article right here. It's important for us to understand the stuff that's working in the background and why I'm bringing this up. I don't think nobody's covering this in the crypto space. As usual, my crazy mind goes, in different directions, and I'm always looking at like macro news that really could affect us, and this is could really affect us big. So what's going on is Trump allies are accusing him of mismanagement and even misleading Congress. I'm going to say that again. The Trump administration is accusing Fed Chairman Powell of misleading Congress. If you mislead Congress, it's a felony. There are some people that already went to jail for that recently in history. And really, they really didn't do as much as this guy saying, no. There are no VIP dining rooms, no rooftop gardens, no marble upgrades. But it's in the plans. It's in the plans. So you could look at the construction plans, and it shows marble dining rooms, secret elevators, rooftop gardens, brand new marble all over the place. Now, Powell said that he was really defending the project as necessary for safety, so like asbestos removal, HVAC, security, and insist that there's no VIP elevators, no new water features. They actually have a huge, beautiful water fountain that they're putting up, like Versailles in France. It's insanity. It's insanity, and there's no hidden perks. However, if you go and read the plans, it's all there. Now, why is this important? Because Trump has floated firing Powell for cause, citing the renovation scandal. But legal experts warn the Fed can only be removed under strict rules. Now, markets are going to be uneasy about this, and this is going to have a ripple effect throughout everything. So get your number 2 pencil out, and let's take some notes on this, okay? What we're really talking about here is that we could have political rate uncertainty in the beginning, which would actually cause the Bitcoin market, and Bitcoin dominance to continue to actually fall. Okay. And now what it means for Bitcoin itself is what we were bringing up just the other day, where we said that Bitcoin could close down around, if it closes below 115.7, it actually could fall to the 109, $110,000 area. Now that is the political news behind it. Okay, that's nothing to panic about, because long term Bitcoin's going to roar, but in the short term we got to pay attention to this point. So a politically compromised Fed means, right, as I just said, uncertain rate policy, which could shake crypto equity and bond markets. Now, if Powell survives this, it could signal strength, but any shakeup could rattle risk assets across the board. So that's why I wanted to bring that up. It's a very, very important piece of information. So if I come on over to our good old Bitcoin 2-hour chart right now, prices right now about 118,000. Okay, its change is bound down 471, so it's basically unchanged from the close. Now the intraday high has been 118,498, the low 117,476. The CME market gap still remains open. It hasn't been filled yet. Now I said in a couple of previous videos, I think that we're going to fill this, but really, if we're talking about the macro news in the background with the Fed, we could be in for some turbulent times, but we're going to navigate you through that, okay? So now, as I stated before, Fed turbulence could spark a Bitcoin retrace to about, let's look at our chart right here. Let's say 110,000. Now, there's also something else going on that could cause this along with that. When we look at Bitcoin dominance as it's falling, I mean, look at our arrows. Look where we are right now, just from the last time we showed this chart. Okay, so Bitcoin dominance is falling. Now, market rotation is in play. We see it with the Bitcoin dominance. We see it with the altcoin rallies, like XRP, ADA, all the other coins that I mentioned in the beginning of the open here, AXT, double-digit breakout right now. So we have Bitcoin dominance starting to fall. Now, this also, with the Fed, right, could actually, in a broader context, spark altcoin season further. So if Trump is able to get rid of Powell for cause, okay, what's going to happen to good old M2, right? What's going to happen to M2? The new Fed chairman is going to be dovish on rates, but we're going to get through the turbulence first. So the market's going to have a knee-jerk reaction to this if it occurs. Now, so we have to pay attention. It is working in the background, and Trump is no fan of Powell, so he's going to push this. So it's going to create in the beginning, it's going to create some turbulence for us. But if the secondary scenario in the background, is this: Bitcoin's ascent beyond 121,000 right here, okay, and Ethereum's price rise above 3,400 right there, okay, are the first two signals to watch for a healthy correction in both of these assets. Specifically, pullbacks towards 110, 111,000 in Bitcoin and 3,250 regions for Ethereum, respectively, present an ideal situation that would allow capital to rotate from Bitcoin into altcoins, affecting a further decline in Bitcoin dominance. I hope you're following me. So we got two scenarios going on. One, we got the whole thing with Powell and the Fed itself. Political turmoil right there. Congress should investigate Federal Reserve Chairman Powell, says FHFA chief. That's huge news. Now that's working. Okay. We don't know what's going to occur of that, but now we have the other scenario where we're looking at actually Bitcoin dominance itself as it's falling. Okay. So now Bitcoin dominance falling, and say we get a retrace in Ethereum and Bitcoin to these levels that we're talking about is quite a healthy thing for altcoin season itself. So there's two scenarios working for us. One is really unknown. We don't know how far the investigation into Chairman Powell is going to go. But as I said, if you know Donald Trump, he's not going to let up on this. He's not going to let up on it. So right now, what we got to look at, I want to take you over to, I showed you the Bitcoin dominance. I want to take you over to, okay, this is the current standing that we have right now. Now, this standing could change, okay, because right now we have a technical setup that's showing that we are in a breakout pattern. We got a breakout incoming. This could change because of Bitcoin dominance and also something that's happening with the Fed. So any turbulence from the Fed or the Bitcoin dominance in a natural rotation could upset this technical chart pattern. We're showing you that this is a technical breakout pattern. Yes. However, we got some stuff working in the background that I want you to pay attention to. So make sure that you just follow that Fed story. What the natural rotation in Bitcoin we're going to cover because we're seeing it every day and we'll be covering it every day. So I want to take you over a little bit longer term. When we look at Bitcoin versus gold, red circles on this chart were denial. Green circles are ignition. Okay, it's the same setup, same breakout we got. Now we're going to have some turbulence. Told you we're going to have some turbulence. Right now, the CME market cap is holding. It's holding pretty solid. Right now, right here, you can see the CME market cap is not filled. Now, if we can hold this, then all bets are off. If we take out the top, yeah, all bets are off. But right now, we are consolidating. The Bitcoin is consolidating. However, you got to remember, long term, when we're talking about Bitcoin, it follows gold, it follows M2. If that Fed chair gets ousted and a new one comes in that's dovish, man, we are ready for ignition. All right. So now, if I move on over to Ethereum itself, congratulations, Justin. Let me make this thing bigger. This is incredible. Okay. Look at that. All right, 396.02% return. Target was hit, played out perfectly above the level that we said with this A, B equals C, D correction failure. Said it had to hold this line. We couldn't have played this any better. Couldn't have played it any better. Congratulations for Justin getting in there and taking some profit in Ethereum. Now, the price is right around 3,755 right now. Intraday range has been 3,716.21. The low has been 3,540. Now, if we look at Ethereum, Ethereum itself, we had, 4 years of doubt, 4 years of pressure. Ethereum didn't die, it evolved. Now comes the release. This chart doesn't break out quietly, and we're watching it. We're watching it very, very closely. All right, now, if we look at Ethereum, where we say right now, Ethereum is basically really in a price discovery phase. It's not a psychological event. There's no ceiling. There's no anchors on this. Only disbelief and vertical candles. Now, it's about to start. So at about this point in time, as you're sipping on your beverage of choice, you should be thinking, like, why take profit in Ethereum then? Because we expect a pullback and we want to ride the train again at a lower level. We're going to wait for the marketplace for a pullback. Now, we may be wrong, and we have contingency plans in place if it does continue to break out. But, we're thinking that we are going to get some rotation. We're going to get some profit taking in Bitcoin and Ethereum, setting the stage up for altcoin season to fully blast off, as I said earlier in the video. And we're going to get back in on the train. That's for sure. Now, if we look at coin, all right, itself, it's flying. It's a roadmap that's, it just broke out to a new all-time high. Ethereum is still behind. We still think we can get a pullback in Ethereum. But really, history is clear. When coin leads, Ethereum follows fast. We said it earlier. It was actually one of the catalysts to get us into the original long in Ethereum. But like we said, we think that we could get we could get a pullback. So right now, we had our our like flag pattern that we were touting. I mean, it's hitting target, right? As you know, because we got long Ethereum itself, and Justin scored big on Ethereum, scored big, 396.02%. You got to get in the live streams, man. You got to join the Telegram trading community. I mean, we're having a lot of fun here, and we want you part of the party, man. You know, get in the party. You know, before it's too late, get in the party. But anyway, so right now we're hitting the target. 3,834 is within real close sights. You know, we told you to ignore the noise. Structure always wins. This is the start of things, okay? This is the start. You know, Ethereum is really just heating up right now. And again, we expect a pullback a little bit, and we may be wrong. So Ethereum pushed higher today, up 4%, outperforming Bitcoin again. Fuel behind Ethereum itself, major institutions jumping into stable coins built on Ethereum post Genius Act. Momentum is building for Ethereum ETFs and staking demand. Capital is rotating pretty quickly. It is rotating pretty quickly. Now, I want to again go back over to the Bitcoin dominance chart right here. Right now, Bitcoin dominance sits around, I don't know, like 61% right now, okay? So this is a classic sign for altcoin season ignition. Now, we have a trade that we have placed, a standing order on XRP. And I'm going to take you over to the broker of our choice, WEX, and show you the standing order. Hang on one second. Now, we got one position right now running on WEX, the broker of our choice, low fees, fast execution. He is long Bitcoin at 116,999. He's got an ROI right now of 9.08. Now, in the live stream, he talked about this trade. He actually expects it to go into a retrace mode. So why is he long? Well, he's got a small partial on right now, and he's looking to potentially scoop later. You got to get into the live streams to explain all this. Now, he has a standing order right now. If I come on over to this little link, open a long in XRP at $3.30. So he's sitting in the marketplace right now, and he's waiting for XRP to come to him. And his target is $4.12. Again, got to get into live streams. Got to like ask him questions. You know, we got a lot of good ideas in that live stream, and you know, we're rocking. You know, and Telegram community is starting to heat up. So make sure you get in that as well. So if we look at XRP itself, and I showed you this chart the other day, XRP itself, and I just want to zoom in on this portion of the chart so you can actually see it. Okay, you see the channel right there, the wedge right here, the flag, then the short rally up, and then the breakout. Now look at this, same exact structure. Everything is happening. So XRP itself is copying 2020 bar for bar. One-to-one fractal, same pattern, same level, same breakout. If history repeats with XRP, $10 is on the table. Okay, now we're watching it closely. We're thinking we're still going to get a little bit of a retrace for profit taking right now. You know, the ducks are quacking right now. So the market makers are going to feed the ducks, drive the price down, freak everybody out, and the marketplace is going to basically then take off from there. So if we come on over to altcoins themselves, right now, if we're looking at altcoins, crypto total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, we had a falling wedge that was broken, okay? RSI bounce, okay? Perfectly off a historical demand right here, the bounce, okay? Last time this triggered, portfolios didn't grow, they exploded. Now, we are watching XRP. Now, LDO itself is, LDO, the coin, is up 22%. ETC is up 15%. ADA is up 14%, aiming for a dollar breakout. Solana up 11% this week, trading near 182. Altcoins under 10 surging right now. Little Pepe, HBAR, VET, GRT, Ton, OP, and Atom. Okay, I'm going to have something for you on Little Pepe tomorrow. I really find that to be interesting, and I'm going to actually do like a little bit deeper dive on Little Pepe. So right now, key signals to watch. Bitcoin and Ethereum pullbacks. Bitcoin a pullback to say 111,000. Ethereum a potential pullback to 3,250, which could trigger alt season surge itself. Okay, now Bitcoin dominance is nearing like 61% right now. All right, so that is also that we have to watch. A break of 60%. We could see peak altcoin activity. Now, altcoin season is now above 50 and climbing towards the 70 to 100% range. So what's next? All right, after I gave you all this bloviating about the Fed and everything else, what's coming up next? If the Fed chairman gets ousted and we get a dovish Fed chairman, explosion. Okay, we are at a critical inflection point now. If Bitcoin itself holds above 117,000, or it doesn't fill in that CME market gap, then we could actually potentially see altcoin season explosion itself. So if we hold above the 115,700, don't close the CME market gap, and we break out in Bitcoin and Ethereum right now, as the markets continues to surge, we could see full-blown altcoin breakout this week. So stay sharp. Volatility is ahead. There's twists and turns. Remember, as I said, I think I said before, which I should have said before, that the maps that we have are maps, but they're not the terrain. They're not the terrain. We got the Bitcoin breakout pattern sitting here that could get set off into a little bit of a tailspin due to the Fed and potential, rotations. So before we wrap up, crew, I got to make sure that you're well aware of our trading community in the links in the description below. Totally free to join right here. Telegram, click that link. You'll be taken over to the Telegram channel to sign up right there. And I don't want to do that. I want to just show that. Also, remember, if you want to follow us on our broker of choice, you click this link right here. You'll be taken over to WEX, our broker. Low fees, fast execution, everything you could want to broker. As you can see, here is his Bitcoin trade live. You could have grabbed onto that. You could have been making 10% right now. And maybe you wanted to enjoy the party but danced in the door. But we're holding on with both hands in our teeth, and we're going to be scooping more if we do get that deep retrace that we want, but that I would actually like to see. I would actually like to see that. Get all the naysayers back in. Everything's collapsing, everything's falling down. It's all over, oh my God, the world is coming to an end. We're going to be ready to scoop, man. When the ducks are quacking, we feed them. Then we kick them in the tail, get them out of the way, and rebuy and get long again. All right, so also remember what else you got to do. You got to follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin and crypto all day, every day. All right, so let's just do a quick recap, okay? We got Bitcoin hovering around 118,000, down about 0.4% on a day. Last week, Bitcoin hit a fresh all-time new high, 123,000, powered by the Genius Act approval. But now Bitcoin dominance is slipping to around 61.5%. Hinting at a shift into altcoins. Short-term outlook. Expect a pullback to 111,000 range before the next leg higher. So that's it for our update today, crew. If you like what you see, leave a comment for us. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you follow us over here on X. And remember, what do you have to do? You got to do your own research. You got to join the Telegram trading community. You got to join the live streams. You got to trade with your head and not over it. And as a short-term trader, you got to enjoy the party, but dance near the door. Cheers.